Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So today, as you can see, I'm doing a food initiative grocery haul. Those of you that have been with the channel for quite a while and have seen quite a few of my grocery hauls will understand the procedure. I basically introduce each product. I tell you how much I personally paid for it. I give you the price cost analysis of how much it would have cost me in the supermarket, and then between the two of them what my savings are today. Anyone new to the channel normally comments as they come in and see a grocery haul, and they'd say to me, why are you shopping at a food bank, or how are you able to do this at such a low cost? So I'd like to take this opportunity of explaining what the food initiatives are. So they are not a food bank. It's not something you have to be sent there by the government or the social system because you can't afford things or you're in a crisis situation. A food initiative is open to everyone, regardless of your financial circumstances, regardless of your health, regardless of your social status, regardless of anything. It's open to everyone. And the whole ethos of the food initiative is to save good food from going to waste. So basically supermarkets or local shops will donate to food initiatives, and it's to support the community. Every part of it is to support the community. We've all been going through difficult times for a number of years. Regardless of the income, it's noticeable how much we're paying for heating the home, paying the mortgage, running the vehicle. Everything and anything has increased, and the food initiatives are to help the community sustainably. So you get vegetables, meat, treat products, everything and anything, household products, and it prevents it all from going into the landfill. It's what the shops have surplus or left over, and I love it. Carol and I actually worked out today. We've actually been shopping this way for 6 years now, and 6 years is a long time to do this. And I approximately spend now anywhere between £50 and £70 per month. But within that, I not only buy enough food and shopping for the whole week or the whole month, I actually buy household products, detergents, cosmetics, everything and anything. But you can never bank on knowing that that item is going to be there. It's basically a potluck when you get there. Some items are regular and you get in the routine of liking those items and you buy them on the regular. Other items are purely random, and you can either take them, test them and try them, or you can walk on by and stick to what you like. I do a little bit of both. I buy things and I try them out, and if I like them I go back and get them again next time if they're there. And sometimes I think, well, I'm glad I didn't pay full price supermarket price for that, because it's not something I'd choose to buy again. So it's good in that way. Sometimes I can find really expensive products that are very, very discounted price, and I can have those products for quite a long time, and it feeds our family for quite a long time. And it's wonderful to be able to do that, such as big bags of meatballs, etc., and canning them and pulling them out across a 12-month period. I can buy bulk buys on fruit, vegetables, and do the same canning process, etc., and use them for several months. I can bulk buy crisps, sweet items, and depending on how greedy we're being that month, they can actually last us quite a while. So it swings and roundabouts really, and I'll just discuss a bit more. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments, because There may be pantries by you, there may be food initiatives by you. I get this is worldwide and reaches different people, but please search within your own communities and see what's available, because increasingly these kind of organisations are available within most places. It takes being a bit of aware and searching for what you want. We'll walk through this and I'll show you the dramatic savings I've had. Pop my glasses on first. So we'll start at the, it'll be alright if I find where we were up to. So the first thing on the item is what we call gem sweet biscuits. Now I used to get these when I was a young girl and they'd have a blob of icing on and they'd be a really big treat. These ones haven't, but I thought maybe as a video or just something. Oscar and I bake quite often together. Sometimes he'll bake on his own and it might be something we do together. So I got 2 packets of those today and cost 42p, so 21p per packet. You can see that they say 45p each. So it's an absolute saving of 48p to me today. And that's wonderful. So not only will we have a treat, we'll have an activity and possibly a video for yourselves. So that 42p will go a long, long way. The biscuits. So we've got a pack of shorties for 20p. They would have cost me £1 in the supermarket. And again, a pack of ginger and the same would have cost £1 in the supermarket. So they'll just be, if a guest's come or we just fancy a biscuit with a cup of coffee, they'll be brought out. I picked these up now. They're only small, the little child version. We used to call them Mombos when I was younger, but they're just called, what would you call them?
Vimps or pyramids.
A pyramid or a calypso or something like that.
Ice string.
When we were younger, we called them Mombos. I got the 4 of those today for 84p. Well, we're having quite good weather at the moment, and if we're just sitting at the side in the garden, that will be a nice little treat when it's frozen with the high temperatures, hopefully. So they would have cost me £1 10p in the shop for the 4, which is a 26p saving. I bought a egg fried rice. I've paid 20p for that egg fried rice today. It would have only been 49p in the supermarket, but again, it's a 29p saving. We'll have that with a multitude of meals, but primarily we like it with a salad, and that'd be nice. Crispy potato seasoning, so it's for roast potatoes and seasoning. Now this was free, and I picked another one up a while ago and we haven't used it yet. But when I researched it on the internet, the reviews on that were astounding. People were saying how good the product is. So we're going to actually try that this weekend and see how it goes. So I got that for free and it would have only cost 40p in the shops. A little tin of Heinz baked beans. Now I don't know why the sticker's been placed over the top of it. Because it's in the green, I think it's a sugar-free version. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's beans with sausage. I've paid 20p for that tin. Had I bought it in the supermarket, it would cost me £1.80. So it's a £1.60 saving. Custard again, as you know, if that's the right tin. We're trying to build up the collection, but I keep eating it with this crumble we've made recently, so it's an ongoing thing that I need to keep topping up the custard supply. We've used 2 tins eating that crumble I made recently. So I've paid 20p for that. Would have cost 45p in the shop, so it's a 25p saving. Also bought a small tin of carrots. I took some carrots out the fridge and I hadn't used them and they'd blackened and gone soft. It's always nice if you haven't got fresh carrots in to have a tin in reserve. So I don't tend to have much frozen vegetables in the freezer. So most of the time I've got fresh stuff. If not, I'll pop to the pantry and get a tin or a jar out. So that's for when needed. I've paid 42 pence for that tin. Would have cost 69, so it's a 27 pence saving. This was a lovely little thing I picked up. It's only tiny, so it's 120 grams, and it's a beetroot chutney. Now, as we looked it up on the internet, we couldn't believe, we were absolutely astounded. By the makers of the company, it's £4.31 a jar. You can see how tiny that jar is, £4.31 for the jar, so it's a £3.81 saving on that alone. So I'm expecting it to taste really nice. We love beetroot anyway. So I've got 4 times iced pastries. They were absolutely free. Had I bought them in the supermarket, they would have cost £1.99. 5 crusty buns. Again, they were free. They would have cost £1.50 in the supermarket, so £1.50 saving. These were good. I took 2 to the counter. On the little card attached to the price, it said 2 packs for 42 pence. So I took 2 to the counter. When I got to the counter, the gentleman serving me said, "Would you like 2 more packets free? They're in abundance, we've got plenty and we're trying to shift them while they're fresh." So I took 2 extra, and so did the girls. They took 2 extra each. So that was quite nice. So I paid 42 pence and got 4 packets there. Had I bought them in the supermarket, they would have cost me £1 a packet, which would have come to £4. So that's a £3.58 saving. They're just perfect for warm weather sandwiches, just simple little things. Amazing. I got 2 French sticks. They've all broken up. I think it equals out to nearly 3 French sticks there. They were absolutely free. Had I bought them in the supermarket, it would have cost £2.40. Now what I'm planning to do with them is I'm planning to do some croutons. So I'll chop them up into chunky squares, coat them with olive oil, basil, garlic, salt, any other little bits that I choose to add at the time. And I'll make quite a lot of croutons and put them in airtight jars. Now, I haven't made croutons for quite a while now, but the last time I did, I think I made about 12 jars, and I placed them all in the pantry in airtight jars. And instead of Oscar coming down grabbing biscuits, crisps, or trying to make a dessert of some sort of snack, a bowl of cereal, he'd actually grab a jar of the croutons and take them up and play on his Xbox or whatever he was doing in his room and eat the jar of croutons, and he absolutely adored them and he loved them, and it just made the extra food go a bit further. So we'll have them on salads and we'll eat them as well. But I think I'll get quite a lot of croutons out of those 3 French sticks. And as I say, that's a saving of £2.40 for me at that stage. Burger buns. So this is
American one.
the American sesame seed burger buns. I got them absolutely free. In the supermarket, they would have been £1.29. I got the Tesco bombs absolutely free. They would have cost me 90 pence in the supermarket. I got a Warburton's toasty loaf for 20 pence. Would have cost me £1.40 in the supermarket, so a £1.20 saving. And again, another pack of 6 large buns. I got them for free. You can see a reduced sticker there, but had I bought them from the supermarket, they would have cost me 75 pence. So a 55 pence saving. I bought a bottle of Vimto drink. Now I had this one day when it was hot and the girls and I were out shopping, and I just thought that'll quench my thirst. I quite enjoyed it, so I thought I'll have that in reserve, keep it in the fridge, and when it's a hot day and I don't just want to drink coffee, I'll have a cold drink to fall back on. So I paid 42 pence for that. in the supermarket would have been £1.25, so it's a 93p saving. Also bought another Pepsi. Now that will most probably go to Oscar. Again, 42p, would have cost £1.25 and 93p saving. And these two drinks were free. Now I picked them up thinking they were just straight water, but they're actually watermelon flavour. As I say, I got them for free. Had I bought them in the shop, they would have been 45p each, so that's a 90p saving. A nice bag of salad potatoes. Now, although they've got chits on them, I'll knock them off and I'll boil them as usual in the skins, give them a rinse through. They've cost me 20p. Would have cost £1.29, so it's a £1.09 saving. But that's most probably 4 meals, 2 meals each for Mr. Wallflowers and I, so they'll go quite a long way, really, won't they? Okay. I got 3 medium onions. You like onion on every sandwich, don't you? Okay. So we go through onions quite a lot. So I've paid 42p for those 3 onions. They would have cost me 95p in the supermarket. So it's a saving of 53p. Also grabbed 4 carrots. As I say, I always like to have fresh carrots. They've cost me 20p. They would have only been 44p in the supermarket, but it's a 24p saving. And I got 2 peppers. I'm thinking of making a meal called tabbouleh during the week, and I wanted a couple of peppers, so that's the only reason I paid the price I paid today. So I've paid 42p per pepper today. How I shop in the food initiative, I found that quite expensive, but I needed them for the recipe, so I picked them up and paid it. So I paid 84p for those 2 peppers. Had I bought them in the supermarket, it would have cost me £1.10. So it's a 26p saving. You know, I've made tabbouleh on camera before. It's a lovely summery flavoured meal. Let me know if you've made tabbouleh before, because I'm looking forward to it now. I keep thinking of the tastes. I bought a large cabbage. I had the choice of having half a cabbage or a full cabbage, and I chose the full cabbage because I won't get one next week. We'll use half of it for meals, and the other half I'll cook off and freeze, and we'll pull that out for the week after. So next week I can get an extra item for my money. So I'm trying to think ahead. So I've paid 20p for the cabbage. It would have cost me £1 in the supermarket, so it's an 80p saving. I bought a bunch of celery to go in the tabbouleh. 42p I paid today for it. Would have cost me 74, so it's a 32p saving. I got some ice cream. It's in the freezer, Mr. Wallflowers. Could you grab it for me, please? Open the freezer with one arm. So it's frozen up now. I have to go straight in the freezer. So it's made with Madagascar vanilla, and it's 900ml. Let's say perfect for this weather we're enjoying at the moment. So it's just plain vanilla ice cream, and as you can see, it's a 6 count, so that's £6 times 42p. So it's cost me £2.52. Well, lo and behold, haven't I been diddled? Been diddled for a while. In the supermarket in Morrison's, where this is actually from, it would have only cost £2.50. So I've been diddled for 2p. I can't really complain because I claw it back everywhere else, but that's 2p dearer in the food initiative than it actually is in the supermarket. Crazy. It does happen from time to time, but that's the diddle of the day. Let me know if you remember the last time I was diddled. So yeah, minus 2p, no savings. The next item I was really pleased of. So if anyone saw my video yesterday, you will have seen I picked the broad beans in the garden. And it was a low count of broad beans. Now these broad beans were in the food initiative today and it was 20 pence for a bag. So these, along with what I picked yesterday, double my quantity. The lovely beans, they double my quantity. So now instead of having to pop them in a stew because I didn't have enough, I can actually make the hummus. So I'll pop them, add a tin of chickpeas, bit of lemon, bit of garlic, anything else, bit of onion, anything I fancy adding to it, whiz it all up, and then that then becomes hummus. We'll enjoy that, won't we?
Mm.
So yeah, that was a blessing. It was meant to be that them there today. So I paid 20 pence for them broad beans. Had I bought them in the supermarket, it would have been £1.55. So it's a £1.35 saving. We're running low on toothpaste. This is just the first one I came across. I've paid 84 pence. You can see it's a 2-item product. I paid 84 pence for that. If I'd have bought it in the supermarket, it would have cost me £1.59, which is a 79 pence saving. I'm really happy with that. I think I've left them. Just bear with me one moment if you can just look at the produce. As I was walking around, we went to 3 different food initiatives today, and as I was walking around, I saw these batteries. So the 8 Kodak zinc batteries for just 50 pence. The yellow sticker is 50 pence. And I thought 50 pence is cool for 8. So I nudged my friend Claire and said, there's batteries there for 50 pence. She said, oh, I don't need any at the moment. She said, I'm all right. I said, yeah, but the 50 pence. I said, in 3 months, 4 months, you'll need batteries. I said, and if you run out urgently, you probably either have to go to the corner shop or the supermarket and pay whatever they ask. I said, to get 8 and have them put away for 50 pence is a bonus. You won't run out. You've got them in the house. You haven't got to go and drive your car anywhere and cost yourself more money. And she thought about it and she went, yeah, okay. And she picked them up and she got them herself. But I don't need batteries at the moment, so I'm going to put those away. I have a little box and I've put a label on batteries, so all different size batteries go into this box, and when we need a battery, everyone knows where to go in the pantry to find the battery box, and they'll go in there and they'll know where that size battery is. So I think that's an absolute blessing. 8 batteries for 50 pence, amazing. Now, had I bought them in the supermarket, they would have only cost £1.99, but it's 4 times 50 pence. I've saved £1.59 by buying them and putting them away. We won't have to use diesel in the van to dash out and go and get some batteries, so that's even more money saved. I'm absolutely made up with that. You know, it's the preventative bits that I like about the food initiative. I never know what I'm going to find. And there's always stuff that I can prep with, I can keep for the future, I can use, and it's not far advanced future, it's going to come soon. Within the next few months I'm going to need batteries, and they're already there for me at the lowest price that I could have paid. I just think it's amazing. I bought the 4 burgers. I always buy these, now they're only cheap Iceland burgers, but they're tasty. If it ain't wrong, don't fix it, you know. They remind me of the burgers I had when I was younger. They just taste exactly the same as those burgers, so I'm quite happy with them. So I paid 20 pence for those burgers. As I say, they would have only been £1 in the supermarket, but it's an 80 pence saving, so I'm quite happy with that. A small pack of coconut prawns, and there's 12 in it. And that'll make a tasty meal for us. So as you can see, it's 4 times 42 pence. So they've cost me £1.68. Had I bought them in the supermarket, they would have been £2.29. So it's a 71 pence saving. I'm happy with that, and it's a little extra treat. Again, the sausages, you've seen how I bought these, I think it was my last shopping haul. And the offer was, you can take 1 pack for £1, but you can also take a pack free, and you can take unlimited amounts. So I took 4 lots, and what I will do is I will separate them into a Ziploc bag into 3s, just like I did with the last lot. 3 sausages in a Ziploc bag, and do it all the way through the 8. They'll fit much easier into the freezer, and we only need 3 at a time. And we've been eating these on barbecues, on breakfast toasties, the odd meal, and they're so tasty. They really are flavoursome. So to get 8 packs there for £4, I am over the moon. Now, in the supermarkets, 1 pack is £3.49 per pack. Now, I got that pack for 50p. So 1 pack is £3.49. So to get 8 packs, it would have cost me £27.92, which gives me a saving of £23.92. Amazing. And tasty food to boot. Relevant for barbecues or any other meal. This was recommended to me in one of the food initiatives, and apparently they had a lot of it and wanted to start shifting it. So it's a non-alcoholic mulled punch. So I said to the guy, oh, think outside the box, what else could it be used for? So we decided amongst ourselves, possibly it could be used for cooking red meat. Bit of flavour, cooked on red meat, possibly diluted and just used as a soft drink, or making a punch bowl with it for the hot weather, or even just put on ice cream, put on dessert. So there's several different things I can use with that, not just sit and glug it. So for 20p, I think it's worth experimenting to see if I can cook with it, see if I can do different things with it. Had it was in the supermarket, it would have actually cost me £3. So that's a £2.80 saving. This was free. So I don't know how you say it. I know it's Danone, but I don't know if that's skier. So it's a yogurt drink. Oscar will drink this as soon as the video's over, and he'll come down looking for it straight away, won't he? He's already asked me about it, so that'll be gone straight away, but he'll probably enjoy it. So I got that for free. It would have been £1.50 in the supermarket, so again a £1.50 saving, but he'll think that's his treat of the shopping haul, and he'll be quite happy to walk away with that. And we don't know how to say this, so it's yakiniku. Yakiniku sauce. So Mr. Wallflowers loves these flavours, these soy sauce flavours for stir fries, cooking, whether it be those prawns, what else would you cook in it? Onions.
I put some into the rice and stuff. Yeah. Stirred it into the rice.
You like it, don't you? So I'll pick that up on the regular. That's one of those things that I explained earlier. I'll pick something up experimental. If we like it, we start getting it on the regular. That's become a staple now, hasn't it? That we always have in. So I've paid 20p for that. Would have cost me £2 in the supermarket. So it's a £1.80 saving. A jar of korma with the seasoning on top. And it's not too hot and spicy, it's only 1 chilli. So I've paid 20p for that. In the supermarket it would cost £1.99, so it's a £1.79 saving. Now the last 3 items I'll explain all together. So Claire, my friend, said, well, there's boxes of papads. So these boxes of papads are packs of 8 plain papads, and 8 of them, so it's 8 times 8, 8 full packets with 8 in each, and they were 50p a box, a whole box, 8 packets, just for 50p, a yellow sticker. So she picked up a box straight away, and I ummed and ahed. And then as we got further around the corner, there was boxes of naan bread, the lady from the shop come up to me and she said, if you take the korma and the naans, it's a £1 deal. You can have both of those for £1. I thought, that's amazing. I can can that down to portion sizes. We can have the naans with other curries, as well as a korma in between, or whatever we want to use the naans for. And to have both of them together for £1 is amazing, because I'd probably paid up to £2 just for that korma. So I was really happy with that. So I took the £1 deal and I paid 50p extra for the papads. So let me explain. So the korma I've paid, so split that in half, I paid 50p for. Had I bought that korma alone in the supermarket, it would have cost me £11.93, which is an £11.43 saving. Oh, what a blessing. What an absolute blessing. And I should get at least 6 or 7 jars of curry out of that, and I'd be really happy. And they'll last us several months, and I'd be quite happy with that.
It's 2.2 litres.
Yeah, 2.2 litres. The next on the list is the naan breads. Again, there's 8 individual packets. These are flame baked garlic and coriander naans. There's 2 per packet, and there's 8 packets in the box. Again, I paid 50p for that box. Had I bought the whole box in the supermarket, it would have cost me £14, which is a £13.50 saving. Again, with the papads, I've paid 50p for the whole box. It would have cost me £12.64 for 8 packets of that in the supermarket, which is a £12.14 saving. Just blows me away. So everything you see on the island, absolutely everything, and the 3 bulk buys that you see behind me, I've paid a total of £18, 8p. Do you know what? I haven't even included the eggs. They haven't been on the price. So on top of that, I actually got 3 eggs for another 20p. And I'm not sure how much that would cost.
You get 6 eggs for like £1.25.
So what's half of 1.25? Say 62p. So they cost me 20p, would have cost 62p, so it's 42p saving. And that's not even on the list, so it's just more savings as we go along. So without the eggs, I've paid £18.80 for everything.
So with the eggs, it's £19, sure.
No, I've only paid 20p, so it would have been 18.20.
Ah. Yeah.
In the supermarket, all of this, everything here, would have cost £122.89. Vast difference, which gives me a grand saving of £104.81. £104.81 saving on everything I bought here. I've tried to put them in little categories now, okay. There's not a lot of meat or eggs there, but they're meat and eggs section, a little luxury section, vegetable section, bread sections. There's a lot of sustainable food there. There's a lot of food that won't be eaten straight away. A lot of these sausages will go in the deep freeze and will be brought out. We've still got plenty from the last haul, so they'll be getting brought out over the next few months. Some of the bread will be turned into croutons, some of the barn cakes will be frozen, etc, etc. Some of these tins will just go into the pantry and won't be used for quite a while. The batteries are gone in store. This might not be used for quite a while till I decide to experiment with it. There's an item I want to show you. That was another experimental item. Just have to go into the pantry to grab it. So about 4 months ago, you can see the drips, you can see it's getting used now. About 4 months ago, I picked this up for 20 pence. Now it's a rather large jar of thick molasses. And when I was looking at the items, I thought, I'll give that a whirl. I don't know what I'll use it in. I don't know how I'll use it, but I'll give it a whirl and pick it up. Anyway, it sat on the pantry shelf for about possibly 2-3 months. And I noticed it was open the other day because I saw a spill on it. And I asked Oscar. He said, oh, it's gorgeous, Mum. He said, I've been using it making me flapjacks. So we made some more together and he showed me how he's mixing this in and how it's enhancing the flavour and making it thicker and gooier, etc. So this is now a hit. Now, I can't open it. He hasn't used an awful lot, but he's baked with it 2 or 3 times so far and he's enjoying it. So he said to me, if you see another one, grab one. So who knows, that experimental item that I would never have picked up in the supermarket may now become a staple in our home. This is how it happens with the food initiative. It's so affordable. We can begin to experiment with products that we just wouldn't have experimented with before. It's crazy. I've done it so many times. I don't even know. You forget because it becomes a staple and becomes part of your normal habit that you just crack on. Olive oil's another one. We never used to purposely go out and buy olive oil from a supermarket anyway. And because it was readily available a couple of years ago in the food initiative, I used to always pick it up. And that dried up quite a while ago. It's no longer in the food initiatives, none of them that I go to. And my supply that I'd managed to stock up has dried up also. And I kept looking and kept looking and kept trying to hold off, hoping one day it'd be back there again, and it hasn't. So we ended up going to the supermarket about 5 months ago, maybe not even that long ago. Maybe Christmas, I think it was, so it might have been even longer. And we ended up paying £8 for a bottle of olive oil, which is through the roof for us, but we wanted it, you know, we couldn't get it anywhere else. So we're not actually through that yet. We don't use it that frequent, do we? But I'm on the prowl for finding cheap olive oil, you know, decent cheap olive oil in the food initiatives. And I would have never been assertively looking for that product before, but I've got trained taste buds now because I've been buying them there. People think in the food initiatives that food is out of date. Now it can be. You can get a product where it's 2 or 3 months out of date or just a short while out of date. Now I'll point out on these papads. So these are in date. So these are the 12th of this month. So they're only just in date, so short by. But we don't follow dates. We do we look, we sniff, we taste. If it's good enough, it's good enough. But some products can be a month or 2 out of date. And still, depending on the product, we won't mind. But a lot of the stuff is fresh vegetables, fresh meat, fresh items, fresh bread all the time. And you know, I don't think you can go wrong really. What's the date on those sausages?
8th of July.
8th of July. And what date are we today? 4th. So once I've Ziploc bagged them off and they've gone in the freezer, absolutely perfect.
2027 for the prawns.
Okay, I hope I've explained that and broke it down as much as I possibly can. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me. But please know it's nothing like a food bank. It's nothing attached to a food bank. And if you get the opportunity to go and use one or just to visit one and see for yourselves, please do. You'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm so happy to bring this to you. It saves our family so much money over the year. It gives us so many interesting new foods sometimes that we wouldn't have planned to buy. And we love it. As I say, different items brought in. and enables us to stock up and prep, and it's fabulous. I'll stop going on now. Okay, please take care, remember you're loved, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.